We still have a couple minutes to go.
How are you, Robert?
Oh, fine, thank you, dear. How are you?
All right.
Be back in my seat in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, my computer shows 7 o'clock, but I see that from the other end of the room, I see Louise is still signing on. So I'm going to give her a minute. Okay, so let me see what members we have here. Okay, I see Lisa is on. I see Juliana is on. Okay. And I see Neil is on and
Yep.
Louise. So am I missing any of the members? Okay. Well, it's 7:01, so I'm going to start the meeting. So good evening and welcome to the November 9th, 2020 meeting of the Town of Brookfield Zoning Board of Appeals, or ZBA. First, let me introduce the members of the ZBA who are present here this evening. I'm Robert Marconi, the Chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Also present is Neil Capola, our Vice Chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Our Secretary, Juliana Zach, is also present. Louise Trojanowski Marconi and Lisa Temple are also members. Fran Lally, our Zoning Enforcement Officer, and Allison Kennedy, our Recording Secretary, are present. Did I miss any members who are present? Okay. The current agenda can be found under board meetings on the Town of Brookfield website. I will call each applicant one at a time. When I call your property address, please come forward on our Zoom call and tell us about your appeal. After we had gone through all the cases on the agenda tonight on the evidentiary portion of our hearings, we will close the evidentiary public portion of the meeting, but then we'll move on to deliberate in open executive session. You must have at least 4 affirmative votes to have your appeal granted. You are welcome to stay to the end of the meeting or contact the land use office in the morning. Now, I note on the agenda that we have only 2 cases, so I would encourage all the applicants to stay to the end of the meeting. Note that in regards to any appeal that is granted, it is constrained to the plan submitted and to any purposes stated in the application, unless this board specifically notes otherwise. Now, the public evidentiary hearing is only one aspect of the approval process and is for the purposes of accepting factual information and data bearing on this application and allows expression of opinion by interested parties. Now, the final decision that this board will render may be in the form of approved as submitted, approved with stipulations or conditions, or disapproved. After reading into the record the correspondence received by the board relative to this application, we will ask the applicant to present the application in detail. Now, we do have the applications in writing, but we will ask each applicant to, in Plain, simple language, explain what their application's about. Now, the chair will then entertain questions of clarification from board members concerning the applicant's presentation. We will then hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the application, followed by those who are opposed. Following each side of the question, the applicant will be allowed to make concluding remarks. All questions and comments must be directed to the chair, that is myself. And as you are recognized, please state your name and address each time before you speak so that your comments may be legally recorded. Please be assured that everyone will be given the opportunity to speak. However, the board is most interested in hearing factual information relative to the application. And in view of the time constraints placed upon us, we ask your indulgence in simply not repeating comments previously presented, but let us know if you happen to agree with comments previously presented. Okay, let's first of all deal with the minutes from our last meeting. Our last meeting was on October 5th, 2020. And I'll take a motion to adopt the minutes that have been presented in our packets.
So moved.
Okay, I'll take a second too.
I'll second that.
Okay, Neil, second. Now, are there any corrections, changes, additions that one wants to make on any of these end of our minutes from the last meeting from October? If
No.
not, yes? No? Okay. If there are no additions or changes, then I'll take a vote on this. All in favor of adopting the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay, the minutes are adopted. Next on our agenda would be the minutes of other boards and commissions, land use commissions, the zoning commission, inland wetlands commission, planning commission. Those are there for our own edification and education. We don't have to act on any of the other boards' minutes. The next item we have on the agenda is we've been provided as a courtesy the Connecticut Planning and Zoning Quarterly Newsletter. Again, that's for our own education. It is nothing that we have to act on, but it is on the agenda. So number 4 are our public hearings. And we'll start off with the 32 Silvermine Road, application number Z-20-110. And let me start. Looks like the applicant is Tony Pina. Are you there?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Very good, sir. Okay, we have your application in our packages here. And but this is your opportunity to just explain to us in plain, simple English what it's all about. What you're at.
Sure. Pretty much, I just want to place a deck right behind the house, about 15 by 16 feet. Just to, have some outdoor space. Obviously, currently I have no deck out in the backyard, and that's pretty much it. Just the deck there.
Okay, I'm going to ask our zoning enforcement officer, have you noticed or been able to spot any particular hardship to justify the application?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I believe there's a correspondence in there from Attorney Beecher. When the application first came in, I observed that the whole house is pre-existing non-conforming, has wetlands on the, I guess, on the western side of the property. So therefore, I reached out to the town attorney, thinking that a variance would be required for the deck and the house to make the house legal. But as you see, Attorney Beecher's correspondence, what he suggested was to the commission was to be vary 1.6A2 and 1.6B1 just to cover their bases concerning the expansion or extension of the valid non-conforming building or structure. So
a prior non-conforming structure, and we also have wetlands, I guess the topography, whatever, the complicating the matter then.
correct, yes. And I believe there is a map in the packet too that does indicate and show the wetlands area to the, I guess, to the western side of the property. So,
Yes. I do see that, and I do see the extensive wetlands. All right, now, so let me, given this, let me just ask if any board members have any questions about this application.
No, it looks pretty simple. He's not extending deeper into the offsets. He's real close to one property line. I would like to remind the applicant that he's gonna need an A2 survey for his as-built. And I suggest he gets it before he starts to build so he can locate that deck correctly. So you're not back here for asking for a second variance because you placed
Okay.
it wrong.
And
All right.
you understand that, don't you, sir?
Yes, yep, I understand.
Yeah, the GIS system that you made your notations on isn't accurate. It's for assessment purposes only. So
Right.
your house may not be exactly where you think it is on your lot.
All right.
All right. You may have one in your packet, when you bought your house, and that'll help you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to, you're gonna need an as-built for your closing on this application.
All right. So if there's not any, there's not an existing A2 map, then I would have to have it surveyed again, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That does not keep us from acting on the application tonight, but it is something you're going to need.
Right.
It's
Okay.
for your own protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And I just note for the record, we have 5 voting members tonight, too.
Okay.
And so are there any other comments or questions from members of the board? Okay, hearing none, let me just ask, are there any members of the public who wish to speak in favor of this application? And hearing none, are there any members of the public who wish to speak in opposition to this application? Okay, hearing none, then I will take a motion at this point to close the evidentiary portion of this hearing.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, so, well, Neil, I guess you got the motion, and was that Juliana who seconded?
Yes, I can second.
Okay, very good. Okay, all in favor of closing the
Aye.
portion?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so again, stick around until we deliberate. But we're going to move on to take the evidence on the next application that we have. And our next application is for number 7 South Mountain Road. The application number is Z-20-111. And I'm going to ask if the applicant is present.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, very good. And please identify yourself, sir.
Kurt Schweeder.
Okay. Mr. Schweeder, welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And
Thank you.
we have your application. If you can just tell us in plain English about the application.
I'm looking to get a variance on my southern property line to put a 10 by 12 shed in.
Okay.
So it would be, the side I think is 25 foot, but we want to go about 5 feet off the property line. There is a fence there where we're going to put where we'd like to put the shed. And my neighbor, submitted a letter in, approving of that also, that he was okay with, where I would like to put it.
Yes, I believe, we have the, I believe we had the letter from your neighbor that's in the package. And bear with me while I just look it up. Trying to remember, can you identify the neighbor's name for the record?
Oh, boy. No, I can't remember his last name off the top of my head.
Okay. Fran, have you, have you seen that letter?
There is a letter, Mr. Chairman. I don't have it in my packet, but I know there was one submitted from the neighbor next door indicating that there was no objection with the placement of the shed because it is protected by blocked by a stockade fence. I did go out there myself and visit the site. So,
Okay, very good. And Fran, can I ask you again what the hardship on this one is?
well, I believe in his packet, there's a septic in the backyard.
Yes,
There was a pool on the, I guess, on the left side of the property, which the applicant has informed us that he's going to be applying for a pool permit in the spring of 2021. But I would say septic, some topography, and the septic area,
okay,
the biggest one.
very good. All right, this seems to be fairly straightforward. Do any members of the board have any questions of the applicant? Okay, I hear nothing.
Yeah, Robert, I 5 feet's a little tight for me.
Okay,
Can we get 10 or 12 feet out of it? Moving more towards the driveway?
The driveway would be going parallel with the fence. It would have to go out into the yard at that point, where we were
Yeah,
trying to keep it in that, little, I think I had a picture also. I sent 2 pictures in that little brush area. We used to have 2 trees there. They fell down in the storm. And we had the stumps, and we were going to remove the stumps and put it where the stump was, where the tree was. And
Okay.
I think the farther we go from the fence, the more my neighbor will see it, and that would be the west side of the shed. We still have plantings there that cover that side. The people on our east side, our neighbors in the back, are like 300 feet away, and there's woods between us, so they don't see it either.
Okay. Yeah, I told the last applicant, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna need an A2 survey for this.
Yep.
Because the GIS isn't accurate. Okay?
Yep.
You don't have to come back to us and say, oops, it was at 3 feet, not 5 feet or 8 feet, whatever. All right?
Yep, understand.
Very good, thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
okay. Any other members have any questions or comments on this application? Okay, then let me move on to ask if any members of the public wish to make any statements in support of this application. Hearing none, are any members of the public present who wish to speak against this application? Hearing none, then I'll ask if I'll take a motion to close the evidentiary portion of this hearing. Okay, Louise motioned. And second?
Second.
Okay, that's Juliana, was it?
Lisa.
Oh, Lisa, okay. Then all in favor of closing the evidentiary portion, say aye.
All right,
Okay. So now we're going to move back to the first application. And this is 32 Silvermine Road, Z-20-110. I'll take a motion to approve as submitted. Louise moves in favor. Second,
I'll second that.
Neil seconds. Okay, this seems to be fairly straightforward one. And this is the deck. Any comments?
Nope.
No.
Okay. And then all in favor of granting this, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and opposed? Okay, so this is unanimously granted. We've had For the basis, we've had a previously non-conforming structure on it, and this is also, again, a
Topography.
topography issue too. Okay, so we've had wetlands in the back
I'm sorry, did you say the reason was existing non-conforming?
and topography.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Very good. So let's move on to the next one. This is for 7 Mountain Road, Z-20-111. And so this is for the shed, and I'll take a motion to grant this application as submitted.
So moved.
Okay, that was Juliana. And second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Neil? Okay, are there any comments before we vote? Again,
Nope.
this seems to be a fairly straightforward issue. And I see topography as an issue with the septic system. Okay, I'll take a vote. All in favor of granting as submitted? Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. So, and Allison, that would be a topography issue then. Okay. I noticed, let me see. That wraps up all the cases we have. I'll just note that we have a draft ZBA meeting schedule for the 2021 calendar year. And I'm in favor of adopting it, but I do realize is that I will probably be asking come July or come the June meeting to make a change in the July meeting, because it always gets scheduled for the week of July 4th when at least a couple of people are often away on vacation. So at this point, though, still, everybody has the schedule in your application packages?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to take a motion to adopt that schedule.
So moved.
Okay, in a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So that has passed and has been adopted. The only other informal thing that I should just mention is that if anybody goes on the Judicial Department website, you will see the all the briefs have been filed and the arguments have been made with awaiting the court's decision on the appeal of our decision on the VFW matter. So you may remember that case.
Do you have a docket number for that?
I can tell you what, I can get that for you. Bear with me for one moment. Indeed, I do.
Excellent.
Okay, this is in Danbury Superior Court, Judicial District of Danbury. The
Mhm.
docket number is D as in David, B as in boy, D as in David, dash CV for civil, dash 19, dash 6033 795 dash S.
Thank you.
Yes, and plaintiff's name is Mark Vacara, VACIRCA, versus Zoning Board of Appeals of the town of Brookfield. So if you want to go on the State of Connecticut Judicial website, you can do a case lookup, civil case lookup, put in the docket number, case will pop up. All the briefs are available. I've downloaded them and had read them myself. And I believe the argument was last week from seeing the previous court schedule. So it's just sort of wait and see what the judge decides. And if there's going to be any further appeals on that. I have to tell you, that's been the only case since I've been on the zoning board of appeals. Any one of our decisions has been appealed. So this will be interesting, I guess. At any rate, that is the only informal discussion I had. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 7th, 2020, also known as Pearl Harbor Day. And at this point, I'll take a motion to adjourn unless anybody else has any other business.
So moved.
Okay, second.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor of adjourning? Aye.
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 Okay, thank you very much and have a happy Thanksgiving.